Right, good morning everybody. Good morning if you're in school and also if you are watching us at home. I know I've seen some children on Seesaw really joining in with our phonics. Alex and Layla I've seen watching me on the telly at home doing their phonics, which is very scary. So today we're going to look at another sound that we have learnt in school, and it sometimes says two different things. So this sound, what does it say? Oh, well done. My group got both of them. Most of the time it says I, but sometimes it says I. So it's, and the name of this letter is an I, so it just says its name. Sometimes it says I and sometimes it says I. Today we're going to practice words where it says I. So if you see this, you need to say I. Okay? Right, I don't have any alien words today. All my words are real words, but you'll see that because you'll see that we don't have any aliens. So here is our first word. Sound it out, please. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm sure I heard somebody in one of the other classes say M then. How do we say, let me have a look. How do we say that letter? Say it for your grown-ups. It's not M because that is a and an It's Okay, let's try again then. D. Mind? No, because remember we are saying this as I today. So it is I-nd. Do you mind if I sit down next to you? Mind, or use your mind to think really carefully. Mind. Okay. Miss Fothers feels as though I'm a bit in the dark today. These, you might not be able to see these words very well. Let's have a look. Here's another one. B-l-I-n-d. Blind. I think the reason Miss Fothers is in the dark is that I have closed the blind. Blind. So we sounded out all of those sounds. Blind. Now, have a look at this word. I-n-d. Wind. Wind the bobbin up. But we have to be careful because this word is also a word if you say I. Say it, sound it out. Wind, 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 or wind. You can say it either way. So you need, when you're reading, to make sure you think about your sentence and see which one makes the most sense. It could say wind if you're winding a bobbin up, if you're winding up the wool, or if you're winding up your little brother. But it could also say the wind was blowing. We wouldn't say the wind was blowing, would we? So you need to look carefully and see what makes sense in your sentence, okay? Next one. Are we ready? Let's sound it out. G-r-i-n-d. Grind, not a word. G-r-i-n-d. Grind. Grind the pepper up to put in your food. Grind. Okay, so, or please do not grind your teeth. Right, here is our last word. B-e-h-i-n-d. Behind, behind. Or some people say behind, don't they? But we know that, whoops, covered over. We know that that word is be, don't we? So it could be behind or behind. Usually I think we say it is behind you, behind you, not behind you. Okay? So remember, when I say a word with the I sound in it, you are spelling it with just this single letter, the I sound today. Okay, here are your 4 words to spell, please. First word, wild. 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 The wolf was wild. Wild. Don't forget to put your sound buttons on, please. And remember which I we are using today in our words. Wild. 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 Let me have a quick look. Excellent. My gang are doing really well. Next word, pint. Please, will you buy me a pint of milk? P-I-N-T, pint. Pint of milk. Please buy me a pint of milk. Pint. Pint. Okay, now we're going to go on to our 2-syllable words. So the word is remind, and I'm always saying that to you, aren't I? Oh, Mrs. Hudson, Miss Sturk, Miss Hussain, please will you remind me to talk to you about this, because Miss Fothers forgets. Remind, R-E-M-I-N-D, remind. Remind me to talk to you about Year 1 phonics. Remind, R-E-M-I-N-D. Let me have a look. Come on, remind. Have we got sound buttons on them? Oh, my gang are looking good. We're cooking with gas today. Okay, and our last word is glider. Glider. A glider looks like an aeroplane without an engine. Glider. G-L-I-D-E. Remember that sound at the end of a word, please. Glider. Glider. How are we doing? Have we done glider? You've written grider. Glider. 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 Okay, are we ready? So here are our words. Here is our first word. So the first word was in the wild wood. Easily. W-I-L-D. Whoops. Or should I say, ooh, I-L-D. I've just done what I told you off for doing, haven't I? It's not w, it's ooh. W-I-L-D. Got jumping words today. Miss Fothers has got a headache today. It's not going well. Right, pint. A pint of milk. Pint. And we know that there's no such word as pint, so it must be pint. Pint. You don't say, please may I have a pint of milk? No, that wouldn't work, would it? Okay, next word. This is a word Miss Fothers uses a lot. R-E-M-I-N-D. Remind me. Yes, you can take that home, but you'll have to remind me at home time. Okay, and our last word, I hope you remembered this sound on the end of the word. G-L-I-D-E, glider, glider. How did we do? Doesn't matter if you didn't get them all right, just fix them and put the sound buttons in the correct places. A lot of sound buttons in these words because the I is making an I sound, not an I sound. So you should all have those correct. Give yourselves a pat on the back if you did. Well done. Okay, we are going to read today a very long sentence, and then you're going to write a sentence that's a little bit shorter. So here is our sentence, which is quite long, and it has a lot of those I words in it. So here we go. So let me just get my pen out for our words that we can't sound out. Everything else we know how to sound out. Okay, so the child, child. The child was kind. Well done. The child was kind and rescued. Well done. The child was kind and rescued the spider. So the whole sentence says, the child was kind and rescued the spider. So we've got our I sound in child, our I sound in kind, and our I sound in spider. Okay, but I think you would know if you read the word the chilled was kinned, you'd think, oh, that doesn't make sense. You'd know that we can't say the chilled was kinned. It would have to be the child was kind. And you would sound this out and say, spidder? What's a spidder? Oh, it must be a spider. So if you try one sound and it doesn't work, just try the other pronunciation, the other one, and see if it makes sense. Okay, here is your writing sentence for today. Can you find a book in the library? Can you find a book in the library? So, lots of things to think about in that sentence. First thing, what kind of sentence is it? Can you find a book in the library? It is a question. Excellent, my gang. So, what punctuation will you need at the end of your sentence? We will need a question mark, not a full stop. So, can you find a book in the library? Remember, this is how we are spelling the I sounds. So, find will have this one in, and library will have this one in it. If you are at the end of your sentence already, think about the E sound on the end of words, like mum-e, Harry, Flossie, no, not Flossie, Lily, maybe. So, can you find a book in the library? Now, usually when we say library, we don't say it quite like that. We say library really fast. But when you see it written down, you will see it is library. Okay. I'm just going to turn around and see how Cobalt Group are doing. You work with your grown-ups at home or your grown-ups in your classroom. Can you find a book in the library? So let me have a look. Let me see, even if I put my other glasses on, I might be able to have a look. Can you find a book in the library? That's not how we spell the E sound on the end of a word. How do you spell the E on the end of mum-e or dad-e? There you go. Finally, Cobalt Group have remembered. So, can you find a book in the library? Can you find a book in, now you've put, can you find a book in the library? Listen to Miss Fothers, it's library. You've missed a syllable out. E. So there are 7 sounds in library, and you got yours spot on, Mason. Well done. Excellent. Shh. Let people work it out. E. But there is one thing that you need to remember. What punctuation needs to go at the end of that sentence? Right? Well, some of you have not done that, so you need to sort that out. Can you find a book in the library? Other groups, can you just give me a thumbs up if you are ready to look at this sentence, please? We're just working a little bit. A few of us have still got 1 or 2 words. And you've told me what needs to go at the end of the sentence. Mrs. Hudson's group are cooking with gas. Let me see if one of the other groups is ready. Oh, and so is Mr. Sturks. Okay, Miss Hussain, are you waving at me through the window? Oh, Miss Hussain is waving through the window. So let's have a look at this sentence then. So we are right. Before we do anything, it's asking a question. So we know at the end, it must have a question mark instead of a full stop. So some of these words are really easy. Can, and here is this ooh word, sound that we did for you last week. Can you find a book? So have a look carefully at that word. I think you should know that it doesn't have a curly cut on the end, because usually a C is too shy to be on the end of a word in English. So it's either a K on its own or a C and a K together. Not always the case, but nearly always. So you should have the right K sound on the end. It's a bit difficult to know in the middle, but you should have seen this word enough times. It's written on the front of all your writing books, your maths books, your science books, your PSHE books. You should have seen this, so you should know it's a double O and not an U sound. Can you find a book in the, here is the tricky one, I, B, A, E, library. Have a look and check on your sound buttons. Check you have written the right spellings and the correct sound buttons. Okay? I want to see that you can segment those words into sounds, which will help you when you're writing your own spellings. So, can you find a book in the library? Library is quite a difficult word. Lots of things to think about in that word, especially because we don't usually say library unless we're the Queen. Please, can you find me a book in the library? But we don't really speak like that, do we? Usually say, can you find a book in the library? Is what you normally say. I might say, can you find a book in the library? But it actually is library. Library. Okay, that was proper tricky today. So we have the I in find, we have the I in library. And I'm hoping that a lot of you spelt this word correctly. And I'm hoping that all of you got a question mark on the end. We've done quite a lot of work about questions and question marks. Okay, well done today, children. We will see you tomorrow for some more phonics with Miss Fothers. See you tomorrow.
Bye.